Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Sarina, nomor presensi 54, dengan NIM 1910-1253-251, kelas 5A PGSD. Di sini saya akan mereview jurnal untuk memenuhi tugas mata kuliah Bahasa Inggris 1 yang diampu oleh Ibu Ratna Purwanti SPD MPD dan Ibu Wulan Aulia Azizah MPD. Yang mana review jurnal saya berjudul Education Crisis in Remote Region of Indonesia. Introduction. The goals of nation education are laid down on three pillars, namely, 1. Equal opportunity and expansion of access, 2. Improvement of quality, relevance, and competitiveness, 3. Strengthening governance, accountability, and public image. Education reform is also sought in order to improve the quality and quantity of education according to a certain size. Reform in the field of education is an effort to make change with the aim of getting better things. The education level of remote communities is relatively lower when compared to other regions. The distribution of facilities in an infrastructure that cannot reach villages that are located far apart has resulted in education service in border area always by left behind. Compared to other area, children in remote area are also still not proficient in speaking Indonesian. Therefore, it is necessary to develop Indonesian language by utilizing the local wisdom of the surrounding areas through the field trip methods. In this case, the field trip method is an effort to develop student Indonesian language skill in the learning process, as well as an effort to preserve the local wisdom of the surrounding area. Journal 1. Development of Indonesian language capability of remote village elementary school students through employment method based on local potential. Journal identity. Journal author names Fajrin Nurjanah and Koni Atul Habibah. Journal title Development of Indonesian Language Capabilities of Remote Village Elementary School Students through local potential based employment method. Journal published Exploration of the Language, Literature, and Culture of East Java. Publication date 2018. Number of page 10 page. Introduction. Remote village, the student will lack the ability to speak Indonesian both in the learning process and in everyday language because they don't know the correct Indonesian language. They are used to the local language every day and feel foreign to the use of Indonesian. The purpose of the research. The aim is to provide one insight into the correct use of Indonesian, to conscious talk on the importance of maintaining and preserving local wisdom, and 3. Opportunities for rural students to explore student Indonesian language skill without we talk, having to be afraid of making mistake and being able to directly interact with the object while mentioning it in Indonesian. Research method, field trip method, which is a learning process that utilizing the natural surrounding as a learning object that focuses its objective on the introduction and use of the correct Indonesian language for students in remote area. Fact that students in remote area already know the names of nearby objects. However, few of the students were able to mention the object using the correct Indonesian language. Even though there were still some object whose pronunciation of their term were not known in correct Indonesian. The result of the study with the field trip method, students were able to carry out activities with cognitive, psychomotor, and affective aspect. The cognitive aspect obtained obtained by students is that students are able to summarize the plot of the example of narrative text given by the teacher by use Indonesian. Students also get a psychomotor aspect from the about learning step. Namely, students are able to make narrative text using the correct Indonesian language stroke file trip. In addition, what is no less important is the affective aspect that students get it that students are expected to be able to increase their awareness to care for and preserve the Selobonang tourist attraction which are local wisdom in the local area. Concluding, Indonesian need to be introduced and developed in Indonesian in student in Indonesia. By using the field trip method, student will easily understand and vocabularies that the teacher gives to student because student directly gain experience and express those experience talk writing narrative text using correct Indonesian. With this method, it can also inspire educators so that education in remote area changes for the better. The advantage of the journal, there is a title that is very useful for everyone, especially the trader, because it provides information that can be imitated by educators who are confused about using methods that are suitable for school in remote area. Journal 2. Development of the negotiation school, middle education model in remote legal, outside and border area as an implementation of civic learning. Jurnal identity, jurnal order names, Suciati and Areningsi. Jurnal title, The Development of the Negotiation School Middle Education Model in Remote. Understanding outside and border area is as an implementation of civic learning. Jurnal published Journal of the Community Moral, Volume 1, issue number 1, publication date June 2016. Number of page 11 page. Introduction. Problem in the world of education in remote area and an underdeveloped area and border have long been recognized by youth. Some concrete problems in this regard are how difficult it is to place teachers in 3T and border area, the difficulty of building standard educational facilities, the communication difficult or the scarcity of teaching and learning aids. Likewise, the demands of a standardized education system regarding education level and the national curriculum. Either 3T and border area from catching up. Research method. There are national schools while the provides reinforcement for life skill in the learning process with an approach according to the needs of the people in the region, treaty and border so that they can produce reliable and superior professional human research to face global competition by utilizing local potential which is available. And the national school is inspired by the concept of Indonesian nationalism. This insight is meaningful as the point of view of a nation in understand the existence of its identity and environment in accordance with regional condition, a country and its history. Conclusion. Secondary education national school in remote disadvantaged outermost and border area by trying to modify the curriculum with a learning model, namely an educational curriculum that has national content such as PKN learning and character-based fighting value and life skill with the spirit of defending the country by paying attention to local advantage owned by border area so that it can be applied as a process and learning model that is a priority and appropriate in order to improve quality education in Indonesia, especially in the treaty and border area, where it is not only talk about learning material but also about national insight, so that their thinking is not apathetic. The advantage of the journal here it contains the concept of a national school, which is inspired by the concept of Indonesian nationalists. This insight the meaningful as the point of view of a nation in understanding the existence of its identity and environment in accordance with regional condition, country uh, and its history. Journal 3, Education Equity and Education Renewal in Indonesia. Journal Identity, Journal Author Name, Heti Dwi Lestari, Jurnal Title Education Equity and Education Renewal in Indonesia, Jurnal published Academia, number of page 10 page introduction. Currently, Indonesian education has not yet fully reached all over the country. Education problem, especially in area that are difficult to reach due to a lack of facility and infrastructure that have not been able to meet educational needs, resulting in gaps in various regions. Purpose. So that the goals of education in Indonesia can be achieved and can reach a circle, the renewal referred to above is a new change that is qualitative, different from what existed before, and deliberate attempt to improve abilities in order to achieve certain goals in education. What is meant by new in about sense is anything that has not been understood, accepted, or implemented by the recipient of the innovation, even though it is not something new to the other. While qualitative is means that the innovation allow our reorganization or rearrangement of elements in education. Research method qualitative research result in remote area. There are many shortage of educators, and innovative solution for this is to meet the teaching staff in a way such as the example of visiting teacher visit as an alternative to education service. Equitable education must continue to be pursued so that it can reach a region and a circle. This is important because it can improve the quality of education in Indonesia. In, addition, the improvement of infrastructure access to school must be considered for optimal classroom learning. Students need textbook, exercise, modules, and various facilities that support better learning activities. The solution that can overcome the problem of the lack of textbook is that the government must provide free textbook that can be used by students and teacher. In addition, it provides library facility and provides the lab book that will support the learning process of students. Conclusion. Educational reform is carried out to solve educational problems and to meet the direction of the development of the world of education, which give hope for more rapid progress. Educational reform is also a new response to the real problems faced by education. Education is said to be of high quality if the learning process takes place effectively. Students gain meaningful experience for themselves, and educational products are useful individuals for society and nation building. The school really needs support in learning that can provide progress in the learning process. The advantage of the journal, this journal contains creative idea by presenting visiting teacher as an alternative to educational service. Journal for discrimination in education for remote communities. Journal identity, name of journal author, Firdaus Wardi, Sulpan Shah, and Hanis Nur. Journal title, Education Discrimination in Remote Communities. Journal published, Journal of Biology, Social Education Equilibrium. Volume 4, issue number 2, publication date November 2016, number of page 10 page. Introduction. Indonesia is a country that has the most cultural diversity compared to other countries. Difference in race, ethnicity, religion, and custom, which are the characteristic of each region. With the 1945 Constitution as the basis of the state, all matters regarding difference are summarized in it and become a benchmark for the welfare of citizens, so that it is hoped that there will be no boundaries between one group and other, and no one feels that they are being excluded by the government or feel that they are a minority. On this basis, everyone has the right to education, but in remote communities, there is often a lack of educator and educational facilities. Discrimination refer to unfair treatment of certain individuals. The inequality of education in remote school and school in cities, both in the municipality and at the provincial level, as well as the center, because of the long distance, so that the government seems to look down on one eye. Therefore, the government must work together to educate the nation children, so that the goals of proper education can be realized. Research method describe research with a qualitative approach, in which research use qualitative research method to determine the impact of education discrimination in remote communities. In this study, the type of data collected consisted of primary data in the form of word and active or behavior of people who did from interview and observation, while secondary data obtained in the form of written document, picture, and photograph. This analysis is carried out by compiling, reducing data, presenting, and providing verification for drawing conclusion. While the data validity technique is short triangulation, technical triangulation, and time triangulation. The result of the study from the results carried out, it is very clear that there is discrimination in the world of education, namely discrimination against teacher and infrastructure when compared to urban school. The infrastructure facility are very different, so differentiate from the abundance of facility in urban school, while school in remote area do not have luxurious facilities. The study room are very simple and with makeshift facility. Even so, there are both found. The impact is not really felt by remote communities. The problem that is no less attention grabbing in remote area is the problem of teacher quality. The demands of a teacher in the remote area are higher than the damage of teacher is in urban area. This is triggered by the problem of the lack of facility and infrastructure to support the learning process in remote area. Concluding discrimination of educator, facilities, and infrastructure that result in the teaching and learning process that is not optimal. The government seem to be more concerned with schools located in urban area, which in fact are more prominent in a matter relating to educational technology. The advantage of this journal is very good because it discuss the problem of the government not distributing bus phone to school in remote area. Sekian presentasi dari saya. Saya mohon maaf. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.